Hey, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone live show. I am going solo. My name is Julian Gennady, and today is June 14th, 2022. It is an 8:45 Eastern Standard Time show. It's not quite after dark, but we're still going to talk Juve. We're going to talk about what happened today with Paul Pogba and all the other little transfer rumblings on. And maybe we'll get into Italy. But the main thing is today we're going to be talking about Paul Pogba and his return. Pogba, it's happening. We're going to throw him up also on the right-hand side of my screen. Boom. Okay. So again, we're going to be talking about Paul Pogba, the little things that came out during the transfer blitz tonight. And for the most part, we are going to be talking about Pogba and how he fits in this next season and in the future. So if you could, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are well on our way to 2,900. We are very close, 15 away. The Coach's Corner for Paul Pogba will be coming out Wednesday, June 15th, I'll say. Because maybe at the time you're hearing this, it might come out already. Or if you're watching live, you can watch it tomorrow. How's that? It is an innocuous time that we're doing this today because this is when I have time. I didn't have time at 5:30 or 5 o'clock usual time. Justin was out in Indianapolis all day, and Alejandro, I don't know, he just no-showed. I think he had a test tomorrow or something. Oh, he's busy with school. We got 5 people watching right now. But yeah, like the video. I'll answer any of your questions, all your questions as we go along too. So first, we'll report the Paul Pogba news from Romeo Agresti himself. I'm going to read it in English. The finishing touches to the deal have now been applied. Paul Pogba is coming back to Juventus. It will be announced in July. And that's Romeo Agresti reporting from Goal Italia. Hi, Andrew. How's it going? And Harris is all right away saying, why July? So July is because of the balance sheets and the finances. So it can't be announced now for whatever reason because we still need Dybala's wage off the bills. We need Bernardeschi's, we need Chiellini's. It's all a financial act right now, obviously, because Juventus is a business versus subsidized by. It's on the market, it's on the free market so you can buy it as stocks and whatnot, and it has to operate like a business. Barcelona is going through the same thing right now, except they're a way worse position. They are selling off major players in order to recoup some money for transfers. So, waiting till July, I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with him holding up a jersey in July now because I know he's definitely coming. And I know he's going to be here for training camp, so I have nothing else to worry about with Paul Pogba. I'm good. We can move on. Again, you'll see in our Coach's Corner what he's going to bring to the table. A little sneak peek, I'm going to say he's just quality. He's just a technical beauty. He can pass, shoot, control the ball, keep possession, win the ball in the air, challenge, tackle. He can do all that stuff. He's just one of a kind. You don't find many players or central midfielders like him. However, we do know the negative side about signing Paul Pogba. It's his ability or availability. One of Adrian Rabiot's key strengths is being able or available all the time and ready to play. Paul Pogba hasn't been quite like that this season or in the past couple seasons, 2 seasons. So we're going to see if that can translate for Juventus into him playing and playing as much as possible next year. I see Justin's in the chat. How's Indianapolis, buddy? I'll read your comment soon. But yeah, so Home of Juve saying, why are we announcing Pogba, or when are we announcing Pogba? Our management are so slower than Arthur. It's done. The deal's done. We're waiting just so it's financials at this point. Like the financial season, or the second quarter ends in June, I believe. But the fiscal year starts in June or July. Business is weird. Economics is weird. That's how they do it. Whatever. He'll be holding up a jersey July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. That's what I know. That's what I know it's happening. I have a wedding on the July 2nd. It's my sister's wedding. So I won't be available to Justin, so why are we doing this together then? Oh my goodness, what a disaster. Justin and I could have been doing this, but obviously there's lack of communication at the Bianconeri zone. uh, sorry. Anyway, we'll get into some chats. Harris is saying Dybala is definitely going to Inter. Yeah, he's definitely going to go to Inter. All signs are pointing to it. His agent is back in Milan today. He was pictured, so he's going to finalize that deal shortly, I believe. And then Justin is saying, got to be patient. Juventus management are geniuses and levels smarter than management at other clubs that are overbuying right now. That I bet you that's a little bit tongue in cheek. I think that's a lot of tongue in cheek there from Justin. It's okay. The business that some teams are doing right now is quite amazing. You look at Tottenham, what they're doing right now. They got Yves Bissouma for £25 million. They got Perisic for nothing. They're about to get Jed Spence, and they got a backup goalie for free. Like they are moving quick, and they're identifying all their problems, and they're moving quickly to solve all their problems that they think they're going to solve. Obviously, Juventus have to operate in a different manner because they don't have 150 mil just to spend like that. Just like Conte and Paratici were given by Tottenham owner Levy. So we have to operate a little bit differently. Obviously, we know that now. We see what's going on. We can't even announce free agents until July. So there's no chance of us, hey, Sassuolo, here's 30 mil. Here's Raspadori or Berardi, whatever. Like, you're not going to see that before July. That's just the honest truth with this club and where we are at financially at the moment. Harris also goes on to say, why is there no news on getting rid of bums like Ramsey? People or the players are just finishing up their international duty. Like Wales played today, so they're going to go on vacation in a week or so. Then their agents are going to get back to it, back on the business grind, and we'll terminate Ramsey in July, I assume. Like, I don't expect Aaron Ramsey to show up July 4th at Conte Nassa for preseason. I don't expect that. Will he sign with another team? No. But he won't be contracted to Juventus in July. That's what I think is going to happen to Aaron Ramsey. In terms of the other guys, I have no idea. In terms of outgoings, people want to leave. Like, Arthur wants to leave. Moise Kean wants to leave. Pellegrini kind of wants to leave. So we'll see what happens with those guys. I think if you want to leave and you've made it public that you want to leave, I think you should be gone before preseason starts. That's selfish for me, but I think you should be gone by then. Obviously, you want a preseason, you want to get fit and stuff. So I don't know what goes on in their minds in that aspect. Like, does Moise Kean want to start preseason with us and then go to another team? I don't know. It's kind of awkward at that point. But whatever, we'll see. We'll see in the future. Andrew Finnan saying, I know you probably have only watched a game of Gotti, but what do you think? Can he surprise us? I liked him. I liked his long passing. So I didn't get a chance to watch the full 90 minutes against England. I did watch him at Frosinone, I want to say 3 or 4 times after we signed him. And listen, he's fine. He's fine. And people are going to read me for this, but I'm saying he's fine. I don't know how consistent he can be at a top level for a whole year. We saw him in his first ever top level game against England, and he looked great. No question about that. No doubt about that. He looked great on Saturday against England. I've only seen him play 3 to 5 games max of Frosinone in Serie B, and he looked fine. He looked pretty good. His counting stats are good. His highlight tapes are good. His long balls, like you said, his long range passing is pretty good. It's definitely better than Chiellini's, which is weird because a lot of people are like, his tenacity is like Chiellini, but his long range passing, I'm not saying he's a combination of Bonucci Chiellini here, or else he'd be a great complete defender. However, his passing range reminds me of Bonucci's, and his tenacity reminds me of Chiellini. I'm not saying he's both combined. So we'll see what happens. I think he's going to get a good look in preseason starting in July. And I think if he impresses, he's going to stay. And if he impresses, he'll be the third choice center back. So we'll see what happens. Dan Barile saying, Kostic, Vlahovic, Di Maria at the beginning of the season. So Justin and I did Ali's percentages on Friday for a live. I said 51% Di Maria was coming to Juventus. I'm going even lower now. I'm going under 50% chance he comes. So I don't know who's going to be the famous right winger that Romeo Agresti speaks of. But I'm going to say that it's probably unlikely to be Di Maria. It just makes no sense why this is taking so long. I don't know what report to believe anymore. Are we still offering the 2 years? Is he still waiting for Barcelona? What kind of money does he want? Does he want the 9 million, or is he going to accept the 5.5 from us, or is he going to accept the 13-month contract that we're going to offer him so we get the decree? I have no idea anymore. There's so many things going on in that transfer, in that rumor, that I'm under 50%. Barca fan, hello guys. How's it going, Barca fan? Justin saying we could have. I'm all good to sit back and chill and listen instead. Listen to my voice, Justin. It's not quite the after dark Bianconeri zone, but you can listen to my voice and go to sleep. Peace is saying the thing that worries me is that we are not being linked with selling our players. Nobody seems to want them, or our management are out of their depth and don't know how to sell. Peace, I'm gonna put this activity towards you. I want you to convince another team to buy Alexandro. I want you to convince another team to buy Adrian Rabiot and make it make sense. And I'm not trying to stick up for our management here, but it is very, very difficult to be able to sell these players on high wages. And I know it's the club's fault at the beginning. However, it's not Cherubini Arribabene's fault for Rabiot and Sandro. It's not their fault that they make It's not their fault that they make 7 million and 6 million a season, both. It's very hard to offload those types of players. And if you can find a reasonable deal, you should be part of the management. I'm not coming at you, Peace, but it's very difficult for them to offload Deadwood. I'm assuming they're trying their best. They're floating names out there. I'm assuming they're having feelers out there. It just depends on who's going to bite in Europe. And if the players want to bite as well. Does Alexandro want to go to Villarreal and make 3 mil a year? Probably not. Would you? Would you give up 6 mil for the next year in order to sign another 2-year contract at 3 mil per season? No, I wouldn't do that. So it's difficult. Giuseppe, one of our members, is saying Juve needs to sell players with that to the EPL. They have the money to burn. Yeah. I think a good case for that one is Demiral. Again, put feelers around. Say, Everton, you want Demiral? You like Çağlar Söyüncü on Leicester? We got better Çağlar Söyüncü. Here, take him. 25 mil. Everton are in a really precarious position right now because of what happened to them in the Premier League this year, where they finished like 17th on the last day or something. Or on the second last day, and they might need a rebuild themselves. They might need to spend some money. They got the owner to do it. He's very rich, so maybe say, "Hey, Mr. Everton, we got a Turkish center back here, waiting to be starting with you." Dan Barile saying, "If we announced Zaniolo today, Justin would have been there." Oh, probably. Justin would be here for 12 hours straight talking about Zaniolo if we announced him today. But we didn't. And he's not coming. Harris is saying, are you Canadian or American? I am Canadian. I'm a proud Canadian. Very happy we made the World Cup. Stephanie, we're gonna go to CONCACAF for 2 seconds. I saw Stephanie, one of our members, and I'm gonna blow this up right now. Play the graphic. Oops, wrong one. Here's the graphic. If you want to become a member, there are the tiers right there for you. You can become a member like Stephanie Velasquez. And she said that she was clapping for Honduras because they beat Canada yesterday. All the power to her. Honduras beat Canada. That field, though, that surface yesterday was atrocious. The referee was it was a thief. So I'm very mad at CONCACAF right now for the Canadian men's soccer team. But we'll move on. Barca fans saying, let's swap Rabiot and Pedri. I love that. And Dan Bareilles bring up a very, very interesting thing. I've brought this up on the channel before. I am a big proponent of swapping out Demiral instead of going for a full sale. I would like this to happen yesterday. We swap Demiral and let's say 20 million for Koulibaly. Does Napoli say no to that? Maybe. I don't know. Are they going to get a better center back in than Demiral? I have no idea, but that's the market. That's the game you got to play. Do they want just strict money? Do they want to even deal with Juventus? Does Koulibaly even want to come to Juventus? Does he want to make a bad name for himself for the Neapolitans? Peace goes on to say, after I ranted at him a bit, honestly, then we need to take losses on the players. We can't have players until their contract expires. We need to force them out like other clubs when they want to sell them or when they don't want them. We're kind of doing that with Ramsey. I don't think you can do that with all three of these. Like, you can't get Ramsey. Oh, my dog's barking a storm right now. Sorry about him. You can't do the same thing you're doing to Ramsey with Rabiot and Sandro all in one summer. You're going to take too much of a loss on all that. Like, it's too much of a loss. You need to rebuild the squad. You need to invest money in the squad that's going to play next year. You can't invest in the squad, or you can't take away money being used on deleting players like that. One player's fine, because Ramsey makes too much. Like, Ramsey is the biggest deadwood on the team. So that's fine. You can't do all three, though. Ahmed saying, do I like hockey? Absolutely, I do. Big Red Wing fan. Harris is saying, did you see Pogba's complex video? He hinted Juve there. Oh, yeah, I saw all that. Demiral and Ramsey swapped for Koulibaly. Yeah, Giuseppe, I wish, if De Laurentiis is drunk, I think he'll accept that, but I don't think Napoli's not going to accept Ramsey. He makes too much money. So I don't think that's going to be a thing. Barca fans saying Demiral and Fagioli for Koulibaly. That is interesting. That one's interesting. If we do not pay a fee on that, that intrigues me a bit. Because you still have Rovella and Moretti after, if you do end up swapping Fagioli and Demiral. And if you don't have to pay a fee for an elite center back who knows the league well, then I'm 100% for that. That's a definite interesting proposal from Barca fan. So good for you. Okay, so now that we got the intro out of the way a bit, please like the video. There's 26 people in here. I know it's a late show, but we're trying to do these for the North Americans as well. I know I went live today at 12:45 to do the Here We Go Pogba video. If you want to watch that, you can watch that too. But it was 12:45 and I had to leave early because I had a meeting. Justin was in Indianapolis and then Alejandro was at school. So we haven't had a proper Here We Go Pogba yet. But we will eventually. Like I said, the Coach's Corner is going out tomorrow. So stay tuned to the channel for that. Click the bell icon to stay notified. And we'll get into the other news that happened during the transfer blitz at 5 p.m. And the first part is obviously Di Marzio just corroborating what Romeo Agresti said. Between Juventus and the entourage of Pogba, there are still the last details to be ironed out, especially regarding the tax aspect. But they are moving towards a total agreement. The official announcement, however, will not come before July. So again, it's done. We're just waiting for July to announce Paul Pogba coming back. So that's from DiMarzio. And then obviously Fabrizio Romano topped it in a couple minutes later. And he also said the exact same thing that DiMarzio and Agresti said. Paul Pogba was coming. And he's going to be Allegri's first signing of the summer. So good for him. Then we'll go on to Alfredo Padula. Kostic wants to wait on Juventus at all costs and is therefore not responding to Frankfurt's new contract offers. Juventus will only wait for Di Maria for a few more days. So those are Justin's trigger words. A few more days. In the next days, whatever. All those things. So Padula's doubling down on Di Maria's answer. It's got to be sometime this week. If it's yes, then fine, whatever. I'm over it now. I don't really care. If it's no, you need to accept that answer and you need to move on quick. I don't see... It's June 14th today. It's June 17th on Friday, which I assume this is what Padula means by they'll give Di Maria a few more days. Let's say Friday the June 17th is the final day. How the heck is Juventus going to pull off a deal in 2 weeks to get that famous right winger to come in? It took 5 weeks, 6 weeks just to announce, just to make Romeo Agresti say, yeah, Pogba's coming. A free agent. How is Juventus, meeting FC, going to sign a player in 2 weeks that's going to be a focal point this summer? I don't see it happening. I don't even see the easy, like Domenico Berardi is going to be the easy one. I don't see him being signed in 2 weeks. We need to start preseason on the front foot here. We need to start preseason up and running. We need our main guys who's going to be in the starting 11 or at least in the mix. July 4th, first day when they do the medicals, they need to be in there. They need to be in there. They need to be at Contenassa a couple hours later, taking the warm-ups and starting the new season. We cannot be going to the USA on July 22nd, or probably before, because they'll have a little mini camp there as well. We cannot be going to the USA with only Paul Pogba as a new signing. And say, oh, here's Ravella, here's Fagioli, here's Gatti, here's all these loanees that are coming back. No. Yes, that's an added bonus, but we need first teamers. We need absolute first teamers in our squad in preseason, especially before we go to the US tour. So let me know what you think of that. Let me know how many signings are we going to have before the US tour? I'm saying one. I'm saying we're only getting the one. I'm saying Paul Pogba is the only new Juventus signee that joins us for the US tour. Don't count Gatti. Don't count Fagioli. Don't count Moretti. Let me know in the chat. And in the comments if you watch this later. Justin saying, here's an excellent point. I replied to Romeo Agresti's tweet about Paul Pogba being confirmed as soon as it happened, and I had the same sentiment as Justin here. I'm gonna bring it up. Look at that face, the unbearded god of Justin Soforo. The here we go for Pogba is already a wash. Any excitement or any goodwill the club hoped to gain from him or Di Maria is basically gone due to the extracurriculars of it. Yes, I agree. I was not very excited today. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy Paul Pogba is confirmed. I wasn't giddy. I wasn't excited. I was giddy and excited at the beginning of May when it was first said he's coming back. That's when I was excited. That's when I was giddy. I was antsy. I was ready to make the coaches' corners. I did make the coaches' corners because I thought it would be done kind of sooner. I was rewatching some old Pogba videos. I was rewatching the Juventus days, which I rewatched today, by the way. He was excellent. He was phenomenal at Juventus. But I'm the same. I feel the same as Justin. I'm not this is obvious. Like we would come sit here and we say, yeah, we knew that. We knew we were signing Pogba. Now, if we signed Raspadori next week, let's say we signed Raspadori in a week, then that's exciting. Then that's like, oh my God, yes, we're doing it. This is so fast, happening so fast. It's exactly what we need. Yada yada yada. Then it garners a lot more excitement. But we knew Pogba was coming for a month and a half now. So, it is what it is. People, like the video, please. Valentino's asking a question. What are the odds on Raspadori? Not good. I'm going to say not good. I'm going to say Raspadori is a player that Juventus will get. If they do get him, it's going to be later on in August. And I think we'll overpay a bit. I think he's a player that Juventus identify as, oh good, oh no, we are going to need more offensive help, more attack help. And then we'll overspend a bit. That's the kind of transfer I see Raspadori being. I don't think we're going to gun for him now. I don't think we're going to gun for him in July. We're going to see what we have. Obviously, with the potential return of Morata, with right winger coming in, and the potential of Kostic coming in, there's not many spots left. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I would love Raspadori to come, but we'll see what happens. Harvard is saying true. I don't know. Okay. Remember, Andrew is saying, we should be moving faster for Kostic. Why does it seem like Di Maria or Kostic? We need them both. I absolutely agree with you. They're not the same positions. I don't know why it's either or. It should be both. You're exactly right. Kostic will come into the club as a left winger, and he'll start because Chiesa's hurt and coming back from injury. Filip Kostic will then be a utility player. He can play left wing. He can also deputize the left back. Will he do it well? Remains to be seen, but he could do that if needed. So, I think it should be both as well, Andrew. I agree 100%. The biggest thing about going to next year is having proper squad composition. And I've been saying this since Justin and I started in July or June, whenever I started to come on. The squad composition for the 2021-2022 team was a disaster. You need 2 of every position. You do. At least, like that's the minimum. So you need 2 left wingers. You need 2, if we're going 4-3-3, 2 left wingers, 2 strikers, 2 right wingers. If they can be utility players, like maybe Cuadrado is like a right winger and right back, fine. But we have already a lot of right backs, so he doesn't need to be. Danilo, utility player. Right back, left back, center back. In desperation, center midfield. But I don't see him playing center midfield next year. We have too many young players. And Moretti's shown that he can play there, so I don't think Danilo's going to play there ever again. Knock on wood for injuries. So, but going back to what Andrew said, we need Kostic and Di Maria. Absolutely. Squad composition is key. Dan Barile saying, oh, Kostic would be a solid signing for us. Absolutely. And then he says, meeting FC in the next few days, FC. Yep. And then he goes on to say 2, maybe 3 before the US tour. Oof. And Yusuf is saying that as well. Yikes. I think you guys are very optimistic. I think Paul Pogba is going to be the only guy joining us for the US tour. New signing, again. Not Moretti, not Fagioli, not Gatti. New signing. Ahmed Diab is saying the potential negotiations are with Pogba and Di Maria. Free old bones. We haven't taken a serious step in the Mercato yet. Seems like it will be another season to forget with Mr. Circus. I'll ask this question. Since it's a smaller group tonight, I could probably read off more of the comment or the chat. What are your honest thoughts about Cherubini and Arrivabene and the whole management from, let's say, starting July 1st, 2021 till now? What are your honest assessments? You can give it a ranking out of 10 and then explain why. Okay? So give our management, not our coach, our management, a ranking out of 10 and explain why you think that is. Or what issues you have or what praise you have. And then we'll get into it. Justin saying, Di Maria, on the other hand, has built enough angst within the fan base that I believe there will be more haters than those excited for his arrival. Yeah, probably. I think he can quickly turn that around, though, with like a good August. Like if he scores and contributes to a couple goals, I think everyone's going to forget about now in June, if he does come. Because that's how fans work. Harvard Hansen is saying, is it just me that thinks Raspadori is overrated? He's not overrated. He scored 10 goals, double-digit goals in Serie A as a 21-year-old. That's nothing to be... That's not overrated. I think if he's in the 20 to 25 million range, I think that's absolutely fair. Is Carnevale overrating him in terms of overvaluing him? Yeah, absolutely. Should he have scored today against Germany? Yes. But he missed. Neuer made a great save. Anthony Aguichi is saying, does Allegri play Kostic as a fullback? Like the way he converted Cuadrado? I could see in the future. If we don't address the left fullback situation and it's Pellegrini and Sandro, and they are equally as crap as they were this year, I can see him throwing Kostic back there just as a test. I can see that. And I guess we're getting in... okay, so Alex Wen is saying, we signed Vlahovic pretty quick. Management got praised for that, and now everyone's not happy. First Mercado in. I think everyone needs to just relax, trust the process. So Alex, last summer was their first Mercato. And I'll just give a brief... everyone knows the history, but we'll give a brief history about Arrivabene and Cherubini. Last year, it took 2 months to sign Locatelli on a 2-year loan deal with an option to buy for like 32 million. And we know about all the meetings, yada, yada, yada. We know also that we had no money to spend. So do they get a pass for that? Or... because the deal in itself for Locatelli is great. Like the deal in itself, the 2-year loan, 32 million, whatever, obligation, that's a great deal. It just took ages, which is probably what had to happen. Then they went and signed Caio Jorge. Relative unknown. They scoured the South American market for him. He had some pedigree to him. He was doing really well in the Europa League of South America, the Sudamericana. He's scoring a lot of clutch goals there. He had, again, some pedigree. He's a kid, though. He's a boy. Why were we allowed to get him for cheap? It's because his contract was ending in December of 2021. Okay. Smart deal at the time. Sure, let's try it out on this kid. Has it worked out entirely? No. Has he been trusted? No. Okay. That's on the coach at that point. Fast forward, Ronaldo leaves. He sewers the management, in my opinion. And then we panic buy and get Moise Kean for an absurd amount. Too much. From Everton. For, I think it was like a 3 million loan deal. Then it's a obligation to buy for 28 million. And then like we have to pay for that. And then there's like a very complicated deal. It was very clear that we had no money. We spent it probably... oh, no. And then, sorry. We made the McKennie deal permanent last March. So that was our 2021 spending. Rank that. They had a difficult summer. I don't know how much money they had, but it was very difficult. Fast forward to January. It was the first 26 days were dreadful of January. We were talking about Sardar Azmoun. We were talking about Anthony Martial, potentially Mauro Icardi, Scamacca. Then we end up with bang, bang, bang. We end up with Vlahovic. We end up with Zakaria. We end up with Federico Gatti. For a combined total of 84 million euros spent in January. All those deals got done in like 5 days. Fast forward now to... hold on, my dog wants to come up here. Hi, buddy. Okay, yeah. Fast forward to June, or May, I guess. So, Federico Chiesa's deal is now completed. It's done. Like, he's Juventus player, obligatory, whatever. Sign him up. He's a Juventus player forever now, until he wants to leave. Great. That was 40 million. Now Pogba's coming. It took 6 weeks to do this. We have no idea what's going on with Di Maria. Our B plan is Berardi. So from what we've heard, not great summer of 2022. And there's the history with that. So again, give a ranking out of 10 and say why your ranking is what it is. If it's low, say why you're not rating the management. If it's high, saying why you're praising the management. Oh, I forgot. Also in 2021 summer, we signed Ihataren and that was a disaster. Yeah, crazy, right? I'm by myself today. I got to talk a lot. So Anthony Aguichi is giving it a 7. The management has got a 7 so far from July 1st, 2021. So there you go. And he gives his reason. Ronaldo screwed us with his indecision. Signing Locatelli was good, but dramatic. Vlahovic was a top signing and Zakaria was a shrewd move. So he gives it a 7. He gives management a 7. Okay. Move on. Anyone else giving some numbers? Ahmed Diab is saying 6.5. Let me get back to him. I didn't like the way we got Locatelli. When we got Vlahovic and Zakaria, we had no opponents but Arsenal, and they are not playing in the Champions League. Maybe we can evaluate after this Mercato. Okay. Justin is not drinking the Be Calm and Trust the Process Kool-Aid. They want us to be sipping after 2 fourth-place finishes and obviously no plan. And that's fair as well. The talent Juventus currently have, they should be finishing higher than 4th next year. Even if you think about who we have right now. On paper, they have a better squad than Milan, still. I don't care what anyone says. They have a better squad than Napoli, and they have a better squad than everyone else. Not so much Inter right now, but we'll see what happens for the rest. But on paper, we should be challenging for a title. No doubt about it. So, let's see what happens. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Calixto, I love that saying that name. Vlahovic issue is not lack of competition, it's lack of receiving passes near the pitch. I don't know what you mean by that. We'll get back to you. Anthony Aguichi goes on to say, if Di Maria comes on a 1 year with the wages he wants, I think it's an awful signing. We were being used to the benefit of the Alba Celesti, so Argentina's national team, and he's not interested in that. I think Justin and I made that point as well. Where's his headspace after the World Cup? That's my biggest issue if Di Maria signs with us. Justin says, if Juve only signed 2 to 3-ish players this Mercato, the management of punting on attempting to be competitive, and all the Exor talk was just blowing sunshine up our asses. Could be. We have to understand what we're actually in for as well. Like, if we're signing free agents and we're saving the money for a big splash, and we don't get that big splash, then you have to question where and why they took so long. Like, why are we not splashing some cash if we have it now? Why would you wait to splash the cash? You usually splash the cash at the beginning of the Mercato. Then you see what else you have to do. What other money you have to play with. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not saying it's early, and I'm not jumping off an edge either at the same time. I'm over expecting things to happen. I'm over it. Like, I'm over waking up and reading my phone every day to something good happening. I'm not interested. I wake up, I look at my phone, and I look. If something happens, great. If something doesn't happen, I'm not surprised. Glass half empty, I think, is what they say. Edgar Mulamula says 8 to management, as they have given perception that Juve can get who they want and on their terms. They are improving the squad, spending less on transfers and salaries. Fair, Edgar. 8's a solid number. That's the highest number we've had so far. We have an 8, a 7, and a 6.5. So, yeah. What do I want to give it? I'm thinking right now. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6. And I'll explain why. They get marks for last summer because of the lack of funding they had. So they get marks for that. We were still coming out of the pandemic. We were still coming out of a big financial loss the club was having. And I'll give them a pass for last summer because the deal with Locatelli was fantastic. Like, let's not kid ourselves. The deal for him was fantastic. You get a starting center midfielder for 32 million euros after 2 years of him playing already. When his value is definitely going to be more than 32 million euros in 2 years. Knock on wood, depending on how he progresses. Very good deal. Took too long, so that's where they lose marks. It took too long, but at the end of the day, what leverage did they have? They had the only leverage that Locatelli wanted Juventus. So, there's that. For the Moise Kean deal, they failed completely. I don't think you had to buy Moise Kean. I don't think you had to do that. I don't think they were forced to do that. I think they panicked. Yes, Ronaldo left at a very bad time, poor timing from him. But at the same time, you don't have to desperately spend that money. Who else was out there? We don't know. But again, in hindsight, it's a really bad move to the Kean transfer. But at the time, people, including myself, were like, okay, I get it. And then we saw the actual transfer fee. Then we actually saw the total, which is ludicrous. So they don't get a pass for that. The Kyle George one, they get a pass. That's decent. That was decent business. Did it turn out? Did it work out? Not yet. He ruptured his patellar tendon. Sucks. Then they spent 6 million euros on Mohamed Ihataren. Didn't work out. So they get an X for that. So that's why they barely passed for me in terms of last summer. January, however, Bentancur sale, great. Bentancur sale is great. Getting Gatti so far looks good. It looks good, and they got that in a timely manner. I think it has something to do with Chiellini's brother being involved with that. Or no, was he involved? Is Pisa? No. I forget. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Gatti's deal was quick, relative unknown, kind of like the Kyle George, kind of like the Ihataren. They got it done quick. Good. Tick. Bentancur, tick. Gatti, tick. Zakaria, 5 million euros, free agent, impending free agent. Get him in the club now. Excellent business, tick. Vlahovic, you pounced on your opportunity. Exor came in, funded the whole movement. Easy. That was an easy signing. Let's not kid ourselves. I think Anthony said that as well. It was an easy signing. He only wanted Juventus. We had the money to fork out now. Straightforward. The Kulusevski sale rubs me the wrong way. I was expecting a lot from Kulusevski, and I get that he wasn't great from August to December into January. I get that he wasn't great playing under Allegri. I understand. And I understand that the coach puts the players out that he wants and that he needs to perform well in certain positions that he needs to perform well. I get that. We are transitioning into a 4-3-3 next summer. Or this summer coming and then next season. Who's a right winger? Dejan Kulusevski is a right winger. Did we give up on him too fast before we made this whole epiphany of changing our system and changing our formation? Was Kulusevski needed to be sold in order for us to get Vlahovic? Reports say yes, some reports say no. So, if we needed Kulusevski to be sold in order to get Vlahovic, fine. I can stomach it. But who's better in a pragmatic system going on counterattacks than Dejan Kulusevski on the right wing that we had in our team when we were going into a 4-3-3 next season? We had him. We had that guy. Now we're looking at Di Maria. Now we're looking at Berardi. We had that guy. So again, it's a 6. I need to know the reasoning. I need to know the exact reasoning why Kulusevski was sold. If it's because it was due to Allegri not liking him and we needed to sell him in order to get Vlahovic, fine. But if it's just because he didn't have a proper position on the team up until that point, then I'm a little bit skeptical about it. But I'm still going to be a 6. I'm going to give the management a 6. So still. Because I haven't seen us compete for a player yet. Anthony Aguichi made a great point. We haven't competed really for a player yet. Vlahovic never picked up Arsenal's phone calls. Nobody was really in on Denis Zakaria. They're all waiting to sign him as a free agent. Federico Gatti, who knows who's actually... Torino was, but they're not competition. Locatelli, he didn't want anyone else but Juventus. Kyle George was against Milan, but at the end of the day, we paid more. That's nothing. Ihataren, I didn't even know we were signing him. And Moise Kean was a panic buy. So, who have we really competed against to beat someone to a signing? And have we overspent on some deals? Yes. So, I give it a 6. And a 6 is a fine number. The summer's huge, and they have to deal with it. And the selling this summer has to be good as well, as many of you have pointed out already. So going back to the chat, Rami Mosba, I don't know why they're acting like they have no money. I've said this a couple times already, not tonight, but on the channel. They're only going to spend money if an opportunity arises that they can't say no to. Dusan Vlahovic was an opportunity that we weren't going to get in this summer. Because there's going to be multiple teams after him. Which goes back to my point of who are we competing against. In January, we're competing against no one. So we got the deal done. Exor said to Agnelli, yes, this guy is good. We'll give you the money. He's different. Berardi is not different. Berardi, we're going to try and use as little money as possible. Exor is not going to fund that. Juventus is going to fund that. So we have to be careful of saying why we act like we have no money. If Kylian Mbappe was available for 120 million euros and reasonable wages, and no one else was going to go over the top for him, then Juventus would be all over that. Exor would say, yeah, give the money. They did it with Ronaldo. They did it with De Ligt. You have to be different. You have to be something special. We can't just slap the cash around anymore. Anthony Aguichi saying, not sure I see a big splash. We haven't identified a clear target to go all in for, as was the case with Dusan. Any idea who it could be? Again, the big splash. I don't think there's going to be a big splash. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I don't see there being I don't see us signing a player over 35 million euros. Like, I don't see us signing Zaniolo for 35 or for 40 million or whatever it is. I don't see us doing that. I don't see us signing Berardi for over 35 million. We better not. I don't see us signing. There's no big names linked with us. Like, was Anthony linked with us for a bit? We're not spending 60 million on him. We're not spending 50 million on Rafinha. We don't even want to spend 20 on Udogi. So I don't think we're going to splash out the cash. We're not going to spend over 35 million on a player this summer. Take that to the bank. That's a hot take. Is it a hot take? I don't know. Just scrolling through the chat. Crazy Ray saying, if you excuse last season's Mercato, then it's a solid 8.5. Vlahovic, Zakaria for 5 mil. Gatti for 10, very promising. And now Pogba management is doing fine. Okay, that's the highest score we've gotten from Crazy Ray. Justin saying some of the latest comments had said the continued pursuit of Di Maria and the attempted retention of players like Cuadrado is under the instruction of Allegri. Do you read this as Max being a problem or deflecting? It's interesting. I don't want to say... I say coaches don't like to... The coaches like to have what they have and know what they know. So Allegri knows Cuadrado. Allegri knows Di Maria, not from coaching him in the past, but Di Maria's 34. He's been around the block. Coaches like to know what they know and who they know they like to use. Max Allegri is the biggest proponent of this. He talks about experience all the time. He talks about the younger kids not playing because they don't have experience, yada, yada, yada. So, is he deflecting? Not really. I think he actually believes that Cuadrado is a good option and Di Maria is a good option, which Di Maria is a good option. No, don't get me wrong. But Cuadrado can't be starting next year. But is he a useful sub? Yeah, absolutely. I don't have a problem with Cuadrado staying. And if Allegri's saying Cuadrado should stay, I agree. Just don't start him. Bring him off as a sub or bring him on as a sub. Ahmed is saying, do you guys remember when we talked about Salah in the beginning and then we talked about Anthony, Ajax, and Renan Lodi? And now we're talking about Di Maria, Emerson Palmieri, and Kostic. That's how it usually goes. We were led to dream big, and that's how it usually goes in the market. Besides De Ligt, Higuain, and Ronaldo, without selling, whenever we ever purchased a big, like when we were splashed big, I don't know. We generally don't do that. We only did that really in the Paratici era. Crazy Ray saying Kulusevski never played in his position, either right mid or second striker, would have been so good. I agree. I really like Kulusevski as a player. And Edgar Mulamula saying, I respectfully disagree on Kulusevski. He was a good disposal and not good enough for Juventus. Spurs is his level. Let him stay there. So 4th place on Tottenham in England is okay for him. But 4th place in Serie A, Juventus is not good. He's not good enough. Kulusevski's good enough. He was not just used, like, you see him tear up a right wing. He's doing it against Manchester City. He was tearing up Manchester City, for goodness sakes. He's done it on the international stage. He's a very good player. And I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you, Edgar. Forza Juve saying, yes, there's no other club that has been linked with more players. I think one of our members, Haneen, I think we have a list of 60 now that she's compiled. 60 players, and it's June 14th. So there's a running joke in the members group where I said the over-under is 102.5 players by August 31st. I think we might get to that by the end of July. We're going back on more Kulu stuff from Kalitsko. The thing with Kulu is that management is quick to consider selling players if they can get money. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and your point about McKennie might be it as well. Like, they might go on and sell McKennie now. And Anthony Aguichi saying, yeah, I think we pulled the trigger a little early on Kulusevski, but if it was needed to bring in Dusan Vlahovic, it's understandable. Yeah, absolutely. Atletico is interested in Vlahovic as well. Yes, but he said no. Like, when I say competition, I mean like Vlahovic would consider going to Team A and Team B. Or the player we're chasing wants Juventus or would go to Juventus and another team. Dusan wanted just Juve. So I don't consider that Atletico competition. Did they bid? Absolutely. But I don't consider it competition. Forza Juve saying good for your Kulu. Gaetano P. I think the next signing will be Molina because Repubblica is a journal of Jetty. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Said this. Jetty is in the group of Exor, and Juventus is in this holding. I like Molina. If Molina comes and he's the next guy, great. I'll take Molina all day, every day. Danilo can go play left back for all I care. I know Alejandro disagrees with me on that, but listen, I'd rather have our strongest 11 out every game. I'd rather have, if Danilo's our best left back or best fullback, besides Molina, and he can play left back, Danilo can play left back. And Molina can start at right back. Do it. Get your best players out on the field. Figure it out, Max. You make 7 to 9 mil a year. Figure it out. Gaetano goes on to say Kulusevski is perfect for Conte. I agree. Hitting on the quick counter, but he also has Harry Kane and Heung-min Son to play with. So, like, great players. Dan saying a midfield of Pogba, Locatelli, and Tielemans is exciting enough. Yeah, I keep bringing up his name because Arsenal are looking at him at this moment, and he's going to be cheap. Not cheap, but like he's going to be 30 mil around there because he's 1 year on his contract, and he already told Leicester he's not re-signing. So I think Tielemans is the perfect guy to go after. And Pogba, Locatelli, and Tielemans that's very exciting to me. They all provide goals from midfield. They all provide assists. Is it the most defensive oriented? Like Tielemans struggles a bit defensively. Pogba needs a rock beside him. Is Locatelli that rock? That's the only thing I can see wrong with that, but I like it. Gaetano saying we need a left back. Dan Brile goes on to say we need Udogi. Yeah, we do. I don't think, and the latest report is that Inter Milan, so Morata had a conversation with Udogi's agents today. So today being June 14th, and they've blocked him for next summer. So that means they've told Udinese exactly what they wanted. They'll let Udogi play out this year at Udinese, but then they'll buy him next summer. Juventus want him this summer. There's a difference, and I don't know what Udinese wants to do. I know Udogi wants to leave. Him and his agents have made that clear, so we'll see what happens with that in the summer. I think if we don't get, or even if we do get Molina and Udogi, we have Udinese's fullbacks, which is crazy. But hey, if they're good, they're good. Anthony Aguichi is not a fan of Tielemans. I have to say Pogba and Tielemans together need an absolute destroyer in the midfield, or to complete that midfield. Locatelli's not that. That's what I kind of said as well. Maybe you get a guy like Zakaria when Locatelli's not fit or something. You try that out if Tielemans comes. But yeah, we definitely need a second midfielder though to come in. So that's all I got today. Thank you, everybody, for keeping the chat going. It's been an hour. Click the bell icon to stay notified because the Coach's Corner for Paul Pogba is coming out tomorrow, which would be June 15th. And we'll have another live tomorrow with Ale and a member. I forget who said they were going to be on, but a member will be joining Alejandro for a live. Justin's going to have his daily news video. We're going to have the Paul Pogba Coach's Corner. Like, there's a lot happening on the channel tomorrow. Just click the bell icon, stay notified. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss anything. Like this video because we do a lot and we do a lot of content. And it helps keep our channel going. All the likes and all the watches, the views. Even share it if you want. As Justin always says, share it to people that like Juventus as well. And yeah, we're going to plug this one more time. There's the member club. There's 3 options. The club level, the lounge level, the premium level. You get all different things. There's going to be some giveaways in the short future. I'm smelling a Pogba, something to do with Pogba. A giveaway will be happening, but I can't let you know anything else. So yeah, consider being a member. You can be a member if you click the link in the description and follow all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Bianconeri Zone. Follow Justin at Justin Safaro. Follow Alejandro at Alejandro BZ. And follow myself at Gennady151. Thank you for tuning in for Pogba Day. It's going to get better. We're going to get more players in, hopefully. We'll see you soon. Ciao, everybody. Have a good night.